go, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. And I have Staz211 in his 50 TP. You can see he's running the stock turret on this, but he's got the large gun. He's got himself some large kits and some food, which is going to help him with a little bit of the derpiness of this gun. This game is a pretty nifty game by Staz, and it's going to illustrate something that you need to learn. And it is win your flank and go back. If all you ever did was win your flank and go back, you would probably raise your win rate 2, 3, 5%, depending on where it currently is. So watch as Staz comes in here. He's got pretty good overmatch. He's got a 50 TP PR, so basically 3 tier 8 tanks here, and he's got a good crowd with him. Got a low FV 4202. They take down the Carnarvon, whatever it is. Canafrin. Got a T-34. Comes around here, reloaded, flap, pulls back, fighting his individual tank very well. They continue to pull back. Things don't look too bad, right? They are winning this flank. I think you exposed yourself too early right there. You should have waited for the reload, then come around. You might have been able to get that shot off before he could aim in and shoot. Pushes on in here. A little bit concerned about those Sturv 1030 and the ISU and his ISU buddy. Exactly where are those guys? Nice shot right there. Because as you push around this corner here and get out from behind these buildings into this little open space right in front of you, you can often find yourself shot in the side. And he moves on through. He's got some guys up there. E50, the Mod 1, T54. And what pretty quickly happens is his team starts to lose up there in the north with what looked like a pretty good setup. Nice kill there. All of a sudden, they're pushing hard into his cap. So what does Staz do? He just heads back to cap. A lot of people push into the enemy cap. And like I said at the beginning, this is a higher order skill. Just drive back to your cap if it's threatened. You've won your flank, just drive back to your cap. And usually the guys pushing onto it are hurt. A lot of times you've got a couple campers or people hanging out in the back who can help you. You come add your gun to this situation and you can start cleaning up. And Staz's team actually gets in a bit of a pickle here. The guys who pushed into cap, watch what happens to them. The guys are pushing into the enemy cap, which, oh, by the way, is protected by a Sturv and 2 ISUs. Let's see how that goes for them. Staz pulls back. He's got a Progetto. So they're good. They've got him stuffed. They're not going to be able to jump on the cap and quick cap him or anything like that. There's a T-95 helping him as well. Puts a shot on the ISU. Gets a bounce off of the ISU. That was very good. There's one of the ISUs, so found him. The 103 goes down. That's good. And those 2 guys are still hanging out back there. Looking for a shot. Mod 1 has a really good turret. Misses him anyway. He's unable to get that shot in there. Backs out so the ISU doesn't get a shot on him. The guy playing the Rev has a 3 mark, so he's definitely a good player. So watch how they handle this here. Unfortunately, the Progetto and the other tank are done. 4202. Pretty quickly, the Progetto's getting jumped on. And then that's going to leave the 3 of them surrounded. They're going to have tanks on both sides. See, Staz turns around. The Rev goes back that way to try to see if he can do something. It's unfortunate that you got spotted there. It would have been much better if you could have turned around without getting spotted, so they didn't know that you had left. If they had any kind of brains whatsoever, all 3 of them would have pushed right onto that T-95 and taken him down. That is a bummer. Could have really used that kill shot. The good news, he missed his return shot. Now the Rev doesn't want to poke anymore against an ISU and a Progetto, so he's going to leave this to you. He's also a good player, so he's very worried about what I just said, that if they're going to come around and take on the T-95, absorb 1 shot from him, and then eat him alive. Looks like the E-50's thinking about it, but unfortunately his buddies don't help him, and down he goes. The ISU dies next. They just waited too long, right? They let the Rev get back and help the T-95. They missed their window of opportunity. This is something that mediocre to bad players do constantly. They don't see the opening when it exists, or they don't take it when it first begins, and they allowed that Rev to turn back around, and now Staz is able to, based on where he's sitting, stuff the rest of these guys, and they simply were not able to push in. They were not close enough to push in and take him out. But now he kind of senses, you know what, I'm going to have a vision problem. The T-49 has not been seen for a while. I'm going to back out of here. When I watched this the first time, I initially said, well, you might not want to be knocking down all these trees, but actually this is going to end up helping them out because this is all not great cover, but a little bit of cover. Right now, they've definitely got a bead on you. Progetto is shooting AP and bouncing, but somewhere along here, he's going to switch over to HE. The T-49 drops his HE on you. Good news is he's not killing crew members. The Rev and the T-95 take down the T-54. That was huge. Now you're fighting on one front, and the Rev is actually going to come up and around. Rev says thanks for guarding us. That was good. That kept them from getting in, and wham, now we're getting hammered by T-49 HE. And look what's happened. The Progetto has switched to HE, taking a big 50 hit points off with every hit. Or less, depending on where he hits them. Staz moves back up out of the field of fire, and he's waiting for the Rev to get around and get into position. So the Rev's heading over here. I thought maybe he might come through the middle, but he's actually going to get up on that little sniper spot up there and start looking for these guys. Which I thought was kind of an interesting decision because Staz did tell him that they're both at H3, so they were both down there. They're both mobile tanks though, so based on the amount of time it's been since he's been shot, it could be pretty near anywhere in the south part of the map down there. And 4A1 does head onto that road, so he is looking down into the lower village there. And Staz is just going to come forward. This is the right move. He comes in low, doesn't drive up on that high road. That's going to force them to come up into those bushes to get a shot at him, and probably he'll get a spot. He's got the T-95 behind him. Unfortunately, the T-95 actually keeps driving. If I was him, I might have sat back a little bit. He gets spotted. There's the Progetto. Accepts the one shot. The Progetto is able to get off and takes him down. We'll go ahead and speed this thing up a little bit because he's going to drive around the corner and we're going to find the T-49 running around up there. One shot here, not enough lead fire. Probably would have fired right there. Nope, a little late. And the Rev's going to end up killing him momentarily as the T-49 makes a runner. And that is nicely done. 5,000 damage, 2,100 blocked, 4 kills, and a really nice job end game of working together. That's one of those examples of 3 players in a pub game coming together at a certain point of the match and basically working together and doing the right things in regards to what each other is doing. And the Rev used his mobility to get back and forth depending on which flank was being pushed. Staz held the corner down there when he had to do it. Did what he had to do when he swung back to first. He swung back to the cap and helped defend, then swung back to the south and helped stop them from coming around behind them and flanking them completely. So they had guns going each direction, and the Rev moving back and forth as required to get to where the most important fight was. Excuse me. So that was a nice job there, Staz. Thanks for sending that in. Appreciate it. Lots to learn on there. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in as always, and we will see you.